Today we'll be discussing how to install the RGB Backlight kit for the DMG. This kit features multiple color options that are all accessible through a dip switch. This mod is rather advanced, so if you don't have prior experience soldering or a general electronics background, I would proceed with caution, but it is still possible. To begin, you'll need to cut a hole in your case for your dip switch to fit in. For this console, I'll be using a 4-pin dip switch as that's what I had around, but 3 is more suitable. We recommend using something like a Dremel or rotary tool to remove the bulk of the plastic, and then use an X-Acto knife to shave down the remaining plastic until you have a perfect fit. To do this mod, you'll need to remove the original polarizing film as well as the reflective backing. We recommend using an X-Acto knife or a razor blade to get under the edge of the screen. However, be careful not to accidentally rip any of the cables attached to the screen, because doing so will render your screen useless. Avoid using cleaning agents like alcohol to clean fingerprints off of your screen after removing your reflective tape and polarizer. While this is effective to remove fingerprints, the alcohol will damage your backlight. You should solder your wires, red, green, blue, and power to the ribbon cable that is connected to the backlight. After you slide in your backlight, next up comes the polarizing film. If you notice, one way of the polarizing film makes the screen darken and the other way makes it lighten. If you're not planning on biverting the screen, then you should insert the polarizing film in the lightened orientation. And you can put in the 2 screws that hold the screen back in place. The power wire for the backlight will get connected to the positive side of the capacitor located right below the screen. All that's left from this point is to run your wires to where you have your dip switch located. From here, you should solder the resistor to the wire and then to the dip switch. If you notice, I put heat shrink over both my resistors and the solder joints to keep anything from shorting out on accident. Since the other sides of the pins will all be going to ground, you can bridge all those connections and save space in the console by running just one wire. Since I wanted this mod to be entirely located in the front half of the shell and no wires would be connecting the 2 halves, I scraped away a ground pad located right near the bottom right of the motherboard to connect the wires to. Alternatively, you could use one of the other large ground pads on the other side of the motherboard, but just remember you would have a wire connecting both halves of the case if you were to take it apart again. If you notice, I did have to bend these 2 capacitors down so that they were flat with the audio jack. This made it so I had enough room for my dip switch to fit inside the case. From this point, you can begin to button up your console and test it out. And that's all there is to it. If you enjoyed, please be sure to subscribe and check out our wiki in the description for more content like this.